Welcome to the BuhayBasket Podcast. We hope that all of you are safe and healthy at home. This is Enzo. I got Jeff, Julo, and Viz right here with me. And for this episode, joining us is Mr. Soul Movement himself. What up, Marts?
Soul Movement! March Gasol!
Mark Gasol. Okay lang. I don't mind. Okay ako dyan.
Why not?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Diba?
Now, for those of you that know Martin,
Idol.
you might assume that we're doing a Memphis episode. We'll save that for another time. We talked about Penny and Grant Hill in our last episode, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about another 93 draftee, none other than Mr. C. Webb.
Nag-comment lang. So, 3 years na natin nasabi kay Martin yung Memphis episode.
Okay.
Oo nga. Medyo hinintay ko pa rin. Hinintay ko lang yung tawag nyo, but darating.
natin.
Nauna pa yung C. Webb.
Relevant na ulit.
Okay na si John Moran. Okay naman si Jaron Jackson. Oh. Ano pa?
Next week. Marts, you wanna start this?
Let's do a quick, I guess, trip to his career. So he started high school in Country Day in Michigan. That's where he met the top players in the country at that time, which was Jalen Rose, Joanne Howard, who was from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And they all went to Michigan, which, as we all know, with Jimmy King and Jackson, they became the Fab Five.
Yes, sir.
They were one of the best, if not the most influential teams in the 90s. Unfortunately, they lost both times they made it to the final game. First against Duke and Christian Laettner. The second year, they lost against Eric Montross and George Lynch.
The legend.
And the Tar Heels.
Yep.
And after that, C. Webb decided to go to the NBA. I think he was ready even then. So he was drafted number 1 overall by Orlando.
Let's start there. That's an interesting start. Viz, he was traded for your guy Penny. What do you think would have happened?
Yeah, actually,
if Orlando kept C. Webb.
Well, siguro iba nga yung dating. Pero Shaq and C. Webb kasi baka, 'di ba, magkakaroon ng redundant, saka pareho silang they play in the paint. So parang I thought it was the right move at that time, 'di ba?
Yeah.
And I still think it was the right move for both teams. Pero yun nga, nagtataka ako, 'di ba? Weber had one of the best rookie years, 'di ba, in Golden State.
Yep. Rookie
And then
of the year
the next year he got traded.
Yep.
Diba? Parang ganun yung nangyari.
Yep. That was
Can
the
you
problem.
guys enlighten me? Parang hindi ko magets yung nangyari nun.
Ayun yung naisip ko when I was reviewing his career, no? Imagine investing in a number 1 pick and then trading him the next year.
Immediately. No.
It's something na...
Ano yung controversy?
So, what happened was si Don Nelson yung coach nun. And at that time, as early as 93, he wanted to play small ball.
Rookies.
Yeah.
Tama. And he doesn't want any rookies to play on his team, diba?
He wanted C. Webb to play, but he wanted C. Webb to play as a 5, as a small ball center.
Right.
Ayaw ni C. Webb. So, yun.
no?
There's another...
So, wait. Sino yung trade for C. Webb, bro?
Ayan, Jeff.
Si Tom Gogliotta.
Tapos
si Googs.
Googly.
Magaling din, bro.
Let's throw this back to Martz. That's another what if. What if he did buy into Don Nelson's system? What do you think would have happened there? Could it have worked?
Can you imagine na lang the starting 5 ng time na yun. No? So they had Tim Hardaway at point.
Mm-hmm.
Had Chris Mullin at the 3. Latrell Sprewell at the 2.
Wow.
Number 4 was yun yung
Billy Owens pa ba yun?
Billy Owens. Yeah.
Nandun pa yata si Billy Owens nun.
Diba?
Tapos number 5 would have been Chris Webber. So,
wow.
Would have been exciting. Parang feeling ko ahead of its time, di ba? Parang I think it would have been parang Sacramento or Warriors of...
We believe it. Oo.
Kaya sana eh.
Kaya nga nagtaka ako during that time, di ba? Webber had one of the best rookie years talaga, impact-wise, no? Di ba? Parang
For sure.
Oo, number 1 pick, di ba? And then he was dribbling up and down the court as a big man. Medyo hybrid siya eh.
Point
Ano
forward.
I think at that time,
Mm.
unheard of pa yun. And they were saying,
Exactly.
I think from that year and the following 4 years in Washington, uncoachable daw siya. May head case.
Oo nga.
Typical,
Yeah.
syempre, number 1 pick eh. So,
Bata. Yeah.
gusto mo,
Ego.
star, di ba? So, nagka-ego rin talaga yung bata. But
For sure.
I think there's more to that. No? Parang I think you need to also utilize Chris Webber with his skill set. Sayang eh. I think yung time na yun, Don Nelson only saw him to be a runner, a rim runner lang. Di pa uso yun talaga, di ba? Tapos nun, you put him in a position wherein, which we saw naman when he moved to Sacramento, or even in Washington.
Bullets, yeah.
Di ba? He was passing the ball, he was shooting, he was rebounding, he was basically doing everything. Talagang focal point talaga siya.
Right, so let's talk about his Washington stop. He got his. He was an all-star in Washington. He averaged 29 and 4. That's crazy stats. But again, it didn't work out. It didn't translate to playoff success. Made the playoffs just once. Once.
And they played Chicago.
Yeah, I really remember that series.
Yeah. Nalala ko rin yun.
There na yun.
So, what went wrong in Washington? What do you think happened? Why didn't it work there either?
I think it was just Jordan. I don't think he can, with that lineup. Wala pare. Hindi iba yung. They were a good young team. I remember they were one of the more exciting young teams then. Diba? Johan and it's
Bill Wallace.
Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland was there. Yep.
Rod Strickland was the point guard, I remember. I used to like that a lot. George
Urisan. At the time, diba?
Urisan. Oh, yeah.
Miami, New York.
Yan yung mga
Chicago, lahat. Solid lahat nun.
Indiana.
So, for young team, mahirap to go against Reggie Miller.
Ang hirap kalaban sa East Chicago because they dominated for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Wala ka talagang takas eh.
East dominance dun eh.
And then finally he was traded to not finally. Obviously he has other stops, but then he was most famous. I guess his best stint was his stint in Sacramento. Initially,
the Queens.
It starts.
Here we go.
It starts.
The Queens.
Here we go.
Salamat kay Tim Donaghy, okay?
Well, something to say about that, but we'll get there. Okay, so initially, I remember he hated that he was traded to the Kings. Remember, he was like, "What's in Sacramento?" I remember he was saying stuff like that. But then, when he finally embraced the team, 4 All-Star selections, 3 All-NBA second-team selections, and then he had his best years there. So, Viz, let's start with you again here. What do you think clicked finally in Sacramento for C-Web?
Well, yung teammates niya, di ba? And then he finally bought into his teammates. Divac was a unselfish player.
Yeah.
Si BB, di ba? A young knockdown shooter na, di ba? He can really play. And then may defender sila with Doug Christie. Stojakovic was there. So it was a complete team eh. Yung bench nila medyo malakas din. Bobby Jackson. Diba? So,
Bobby J!
Yeah, for me, that team was really scary the way they played, diba? Yung passing. It really bode well for Weber's skill set eh. Diba? Shooting, passing. Yung Weber, basketball IQ niya gumana nung nasa Sacramento eh. So, it was really, siguro maturity na rin niya nung time na yun, diba? So, yun. Galing niya nun eh.
All right, Jeff, a lot of people are saying that that team, the Sacramento team, would have been perfect in this era. Do you agree? And what do you have to say about that?
I think so. Kasi yung time na yun, they were playing a lot of parang Euro ball. A lot of ball movement, a lot of 3-point shooters, and then you have passing big men. It would have been a close to Denver Nuggets day with more shooters, with more legit shooters.
Yeah. What about you,
Denver
Martz?
and the Warriors, diba?
Oh, actually.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead, Martz.
So for me, I mean, you also forgot na they also had Jason Williams for a time before Mike Bibby.
Yeah.
So
before
imagine lang, you have and Hiro Turkoglu. Diba?
Oo nga, oo nga.
Divac, Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie.
Brad Miller pa, bro. Brad Miller.
Brad Miller eventually. Imagine mo lang,
Wild.
I think among all the teams at that time, I think yung time at the turn of the century or 2000s, diba? Parating, ano pa rin eh, single player or a twosome, diba? So it's either Shaq and Kobe or AI or Reggie Miller. Parang it was really a big deal. Parang time na lahat ng players mo selfish. Everybody can pass, everybody can shoot, everybody can run.
Complete team eh.
Sobrang breath of fresh air talaga yung Kings at that time. So it was really, I guess, game-changing if you think about it.
Ganda ng ball movement nila. So,
ayun nga, Julo. So we were talking about it before we started recording. Na-mention mo nga nung you hated it when it was the Lakers Kings. Can you talk about that a bit, Julo?
I remember that game, yung last shot ni Robert Horry, yung pinapik lang ni Shaq. Tapos, si Vladdy pala, si
Vladdy may kasalanan.
Imagine being in the position of Vlad. Diba? That was the pinaka-turning point in that series na kung hindi lang tinapik. Diba? Pero well, I think sayang sila as a Laker fan. Sayang sila. But then they really able to maximize every player in that rotation. Ay, nakita mo yung skills nila, nakita mo yung strength talaga ng buong team na yon, from an individual mindset, naging collective talaga sila. Galing.
Yep.
Pero yun nga.
So
late show happened.
They faced the Lakers several times in 2000, 2001, 2002. And then they faced the Mavs in 2003 and they were swept in 01. Tim Donaghy had nothing.
Nakalimutan niyo lang na may kasali pang isa dito ito.
Pero
guys, baka nalilimutan niyo ako.
Pero nung 01 sweep.
Wala
naman kinalaman si Donaghy dyan.
Wala.
Let's talk about 03. They were still the same squad, right, Mats? And they
stronger pa yata.
Heavily favored.
Yun yung Brad Miller.
Yun yung Brad Miller. And they were favored to make it all the way to the finals. And then they were against the Mavs, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki. And then meniscus tear. That's another huge what if. What do you think would have happened there, Mats, if C. Webb would have stayed healthy?
I think if you look at his stats overall, I mean, even the seasons after, I think in that 14, 15 year span, parang he had several years na he played 15 games, 20 games. So imagine mo if he wasn't injured, he could have easily scored over 20,000 points per game. Averaged more rebounds. Pero I guess I was tracking and there was a video I saw on YouTube na checking all the players that went through the Kings from early 90s till yung time nila Weber, and a lot of them were injured. So parang feeling ko issue talaga ng strength.
Mismanaged.
And if you think, and one more thing siguro at that time, if you look at the starting 5 or top 8 players ng Kings, sobrang high ng usage rate. So imagine mo na lang the wear and tear of their bodies during the season. Tapos by the time you get to the playoffs, medyo nag-figure out ka na ng kalaban mo. Wala na. Medyo mahirap, but they could have easily won more if they were healthier.
Okay.
Wala pang load management nun.
Wala pa. Rick Adelman, wala pa atang ano yan eh. Okay, so now let's do one thing that we all love to do, comparing greats. So where does he stack up? Let's start with Julo here. Where does he stack up compared to the likes of KG, Dirk, Timmy?
I think Mr. Fundamentals pa rin si TD sa akin. It's for me, iba pa rin yung Timmy D. But then in terms of he averaged 20-10-5 Sacramento. As a rookie, 17-9-3
Golden State.
Underrated talaga siya. Throughout his whole career. And I think with the quality of power forwards na nasama sa generation, wala. Ang hirap rin.
Hirap no?
Ma-overlook yung galing niya eh. And in terms of his playoffs experience, wala, hindi siya nakalayo.
Ikaw, Vince, where do you think you can place him in terms of those greats?
Well, kung i-compare mo siya kay KG, Duncan, and sumisa Dirk, syempre ahead yung tatlo na yun for me. Kay Seaweb. Una-una because of injuries din, di ba? Those three guys really had really long careers. They won championships.
Yep.
Si Seaweb naman, yun nga, minalas lang siya sa di ba? Nakalaban niya si Kobe and Shaq. Doon pa lang, paano yun? Ang hirap na nun. Pero di ba, after nung tatlo na yun, baka pwede ko nang ilagay si Web doon. Di ba?
So,
si Sean Kemp and si
under.
Amare medyo may pagka-raw pa yung skill set nila compared to Weber.
Okay.
But if Weber
Mas
had
complete naman si Weber.
If Weber had the longevity and yun nga yung tibay ng katawan niya siguro kung mas matibay siya, he could have gone, di ba? I mean, who knows kung nanalo siya ng championship. Di ba?
Ikaw, Jeff, what do you think about that? I know you had something to say about that.
Tama.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. So, in our basketball talk page in Facebook, there was a comparison between Kemp and Amare Stoudemire. Feeling ko parang iba yung comparison. Hindi dapat kasali si Weber doon. Feeling ko iba yung iba yung liga ni Weber. Not because of his because he's not as powerful or not as good as them or the other way around. But iba yung laro niya kasi. I mean, he's a passing forward, the first of his kind, maybe in the 90s. Before, power forwards are usually dominating real power forwards like Karl Malone, diba? But rarely do you see someone posting up and looking for the pass, bira-bira, makita yan. And that's what made me very interested with the Kings. Kasi nga, ngayon ko na makakita ng ganong klaseng team that the ball, apart from the Spurs of 2000s, right? But that time, yun pa lang yung una ko nakita, umiikot yung bola, tapos puro shooters. Sarap panoorin, tapos sarap gamitin sa live eh.
Oo. Ang bilis nga ng ikot ng bola na yun. Ikaw, Mark, where does he belong there? In the top, is he a top 10 guy?
Definitely. I think, actually, I agree with Viz in terms of Duncan, Garnett, Nowitzki being ahead of him. Pero, syempre, C-Web kailangan ko defend to, diba? So, I went through his mid-90s and early 2000s power forwards. And in both cases, he was ranking in the middle of the pack talaga. So, noong 90s, he had Karl Malone, Kevin McHale, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman. Tapos I would put T-Web, Sean Kemp, Derek Coleman, Larry Johnson after.
So second tier talaga.
Early tier. 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
Yeah. Within the top 5. Within the top 5 at least. Yeah.
5, 6. Yan. Would be, but definitely top 10. Early 2000s, you have the three we talked about: Duncan, Garnett, Nowitzki. Pau Gasol, Chris Webber. Yun ang plano kong i-switch kasi Pau had a better later 2000s.
Yeah.
Pero during the early 2000s, it was Chris Webber. Then Amari, Rashid, Chris Bosh, Jermaine O'Neal, Elton Brand. So parang with that, I would say top 5 during his tenure as a career, in the career, no? Top 5 power forward. So, kung gagawa ka ng all-NBA roster, syempre, he'll be third team at best because of at least other players on the roster. But still, top 5.
Mark, kita mo nung pagkabanggit mo ng Pau Gasol, kita mo kung gaano kabilis yung tatlo na
Hindi, kasi alam mo bro, that's a pretty good comparison. They kind of play the same way.
Good comparison, yeah.
Nung nag-mature na si Weber, they play the same way, di ba? High post, passing, looking shooter sa elbow.
Pick and roll, pick and pop.
They can shoot the three.
Memphis Pau Gasol, Memphis Pau Gasol.
Wala yun.
Kita mo yung
sila, di ba?
Parehong tao, wala yun.
Kita mo yung... Pero nahito mo yung All the Smoke episode nung binanggit nila si Pau na anong effect ni Kobe kay Pau talaga. Ganda nun. Panoorin nyo. It's a good episode. Sige, let's do this.
Actually, naging sipaw talaga, no? Nung nag-Lakers siya. Nagkaroon ng tenacity.
Nagkaroon ng balls, putik.
Oo, medyo softy yung term sa Memphis, eh.
Anyway, balik tayo si Web. Sige, ganito na lang. We mentioned three greats, no? KG, Dirk, and Timmy. Let's do the whole replacing thing, no? Let's say C. Webb was fortunate enough to have a big three. Let's say he played with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce on the Celtics. That squad, the championship squad. Do you think they'd have the same success?
Prime C. Webb?
C. Webb instead of KG. So C. Webb, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rondo.
Would they play against the Lakers?
Yeah, Lakers pa rin.
Oh, he would have won easily.
Easily, eh?
Gusto ko yung sagutin mo.
Ako feeling ko kasi, ang difference nila ni KG,
kinonfirm pa
yung defense ni KG talaga is medyo, diba, top 5 defense eh. Si Weber, he's good offensively, but he can't do what KG does defensively, di ba?
Okay.
Kasi nag-alter ng defense ng game si KG eh. So, that's why I put KG ahead of Weber eh. So, hindi ko alam, baka hindi manalo yung Celtics nun. Baka nag-3-peat yung Lakers nun. Ha?
Okay. Ito lang. Let's talk about Dirk. The Dirk squad that won the championship. So who was on the Mavs squad that year when he won that championship against the Heat?
J. Kidd.
Yeah, Sean Marion.
Jason Terry.
Josh Howard. So let's say you put C. Webb on that squad. Could they beat the Heat that year?
Hindi ko alam.
Iba yung squad bigla.
Iba kasi si Dirk nun eh, no?
Grabe si Dirk.
Iba yung fade away. Kagulong. Ulit-ulit nilang ginagawa yung fade away one-legged na yung series na yun eh.
Modern day comparison. So guys in the league right now, who would you guys compare? Who's the closest comp to C. Webb? Anyone can start.
Okay, I have two.
Okay, go ahead, Mart.
So in terms of, I think, potential, I would say Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
he can shoot, he can pass.
Segue na to the next step.
Totoo naman, di ba?
Yeah, totoo. Works. It works.
In terms of flashiness of play and the injuries, Blake Griffin.
Pwede. Tsaka point forward din.
Point forward din. I mean, kaya, di ba? Kaya naman. But I think in terms of the younger players, I think Jaren Jackson, even Pascal Siakam nga, baka pwede pa eh.
Ako nga, Ako, Jokic would be a good comp. You know, they run a lot of high post. You know, they run through the post, passing. Yun yung saan, Jokic. Kayo?
Ako, medyo kakaiba. Si Sabonis ng Indiana, bro.
Pwede.
Medyo ganun maglaro, di ba? Medyo basic, pero sobrang effective. Yung Sacramento days na niya, no?
Pwede.
Ni C. Webb.
Yep.
Ganun siya maglaro eh. Kung makita mo. Iba lang itsura, pero same moves, passing, and the make of the team actually medyo hawig.
That's a good comp.
That's a good comp.
Kayo, Julo, Vince.
So, ako si Julius Randle. New York Knicks.
Sulto naman yan.
Sabi, medyo.
Sumama naman kay Randle.
Julius Randle. Quality yun, ha?
Ang ginawa sa'yo ni Weber, bro. Ang ginawa niya sa'yo.
Ang problema ni Julius Randle, matagal ginawakan yung bola.
Ganun.
Oo,
bola. Kahit si RJ Barrett, galit sa kanya eh.
Yeah. Ikaw, Vince, sinong modern day comp?
Well, marami, di ba? I mean, pag tinignan mo yung laro ni Weber, parang marami kang makikita ngayon na parang si Weber maglaro. Yun nga, kasi nga, he plays like a European. He plays proper basketball in terms of yun nga, spacing, di ba, passing. So for me, yun nga, Vucevic. Pwede mo siya i-compare ka lang Vucevic, di ba?
Pwede rin Vuce.
Yeah. May perimeter game, may passing. I mean, Yun nga, kay Jokic. Pero yun lang, yung passing ni Jokic medyo talagang
Ibang
above and beyond everybody. Yun nga. Yun naman,
Oo.
Jaren Jackson, yung defense naman ni Jaren Jackson, medyo feeling ko above kay Weber. So, feeling ko parang ang hirap i-compare ni Weber din eh. Pero may kita mo si Weber sa maraming players eh, di ba? Parang he plays like a European eh.
Could he hang in today's game? And what do you think his numbers would look like if he played today? Marts. Prime C Web. How do you think he'd do today?
Feeling ko, bro, he will thrive in today's game. Di ba? Kasi it's suited for him eh. Di ba? Kung makikita mo yung mga players ngayon who plays, yun nga, na plays the right way, dun mo makikita na, yun nga, tulad ni Jokic, you said Jokic, di ba?
Yeah.
Siguro in past eras, baka, di ba, hindi siya ganun ka
effective
as a focal point or as effective. Pero, I mean, basketball is basketball. Pero feeling ko, Weber is a good player even right now.
Mm-hmm. Julo, could he hang in today's game?
I think naman with the ball movement that we have now and the ability for you to be able to play all positions is important in today's game also. And to be a good peripheral passer, suppose.
Yep.
I think gagawa naman siya in today's game. All-star caliber.
All-star.
Gusto ko yung peripheral passer yung movement mo, Julo.
Ikaw, Jeff, tingin mo.
Oo, pare. I think he was ahead of his time when he developed to be a passing power forward dun sa Kings. So, definitely, 20 and 10 guy with 5 assists today, at least.
I agree with that. Ikaw, Marts, what do you think?
Well, I think going back to what Viz said kanina, di ba, maraming players ngayon that have the same mold as Chris Webber, meaning, and as Jeff said, di ba, he was ahead of his time, meaning he had that parang prototypical power forward we see today, whether it's Draymond Green, Jokic,
wow,
di ba, parang lahat, now all the big men can pass, can shoot. They don't necessarily have to just crash the boards, pero ngayon, you can see Chris Webber play like any of the popular or star big men these days.
RDO, Jeff, no?
Sige, din guys, sasabihin ko. Pakakatayo lang ni RDO, bro. Sakto.
Shout out to RDO. All right, fellas.
Yung C-Web ng Pinas, bro.
Absolutely. So, fellas, thanks for tonight. Great episode. Marts, thank you for joining us. Please check out Soul Movement.
Nice one, Marts.
Join us again soon for a Memphis episode.
I'll wait for that call in the next 2 years.
All right, thanks, guys. This is BuhayBasket. Peace.
Yes, sir.